Was this ad the biggest scam of the year? Everyone saw this Lego commercial with Mbappé, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi. It seems like everyone was in one place, it was one shot, but then there came leaks where you can see that there were actually not there everyone at the same time. In this cinematography breakdown, I will explain to you why they did this and how you can do something like this yourself. So this is the first shot we are talking about. It was the establishing shot where you have push in, lights go on, and we see Cristiano Ronaldo sitting in front of the World Cup trophy, which is built out of Lego. How do we light a scene like this? When we go for a table scene, most of the time we're going for a top light. There's several ways how you can do it, and there's a specific reason for this whole effect that everyone is there, why they used a light system like this, because it's easily recreated. The whole scene here is a set, so nothing is real, this is not a real location, this is something you can build here, there, and in another studio. So you can work very consistently, which is essential for the effect they're going to do. So there are several ways how you work something like this out. First, like I said before, you start with top light. You need one big source, and we can also see a lot of times in a commercial like this, we use the top light like a creative choice, something to look at. Here in the wide shot, you can actually see that they use the practical also as a prop, but there's also the option that they have just a simple butterfly up here with Devanture, Molten going on each side so that we don't get any spill. And normally you have a butterfly and then there are several sky panels or similar light sources just shooting down. That's how you get this nice light across every face. So we have one light that likes everyone evenly, nice soft source, doesn't create too much fill on either side, nice cinematic look. But when you have budget and the time and you don't see the top of the scenery all the time, you do a replacement. What I mean with that is the set probably goes only to this point and this thing is not real. The VFX artist replaced the whole top and used something nice to look at to make the scene more cool, more professional, because just a butterfly hanging there doesn't look that nice. And that's actually a technique they use a lot. You see a lot of replacements of the upper half of the room just because you don't see it that much. And when you only have 2-3 wide shots, you try to make it cool. It's not a lot of effort, it goes really fast, and it helps to get the room, the understanding of light, because when everyone is getting a top light, most of the time you have to see the top light, that it feels natural and not too lit. So back to the shot. Now there are several things you can do. First thing you probably have to look for is the table. Always when you want to have this dramatic, cool look, or it's get pretty dramatic and dark in my room right now, you have to put darker blanket over the table, because when it's white bright and using a top light, this light will bounce from the ceiling back into our actor, and then you lose this nice shadow under the chin. And this chin shadow is this what separates the face from the rest of your body, which creates a three-dimensional feeling, what you try to create as a cinematographer. Then optional is most of the time the top light is enough that we get nice separation from our hair and our shoulders, but sometimes I would use a wider light source. There are soft boxes for that, or you just use a sky panel 120 with a soft box, it doesn't matter, and give just a small edge light across both shoulders, create a little bit of separation from the background. But because we have this metallic source in the background, we actually create separation with this reflection. The only thing you have to look for is that not the whole body is just in front of this black, because when you do it like this, the shot will feel really flat. So that's a nice, interesting choice they made with the background to create a three-dimensional feeling. Then there are several shots where they're also from the side, and we still keep the top light, but we move the people a little bit, or they need a little bit of control, because the top light will fill also this side of the face. So we reduce the top light a little bit, and they can see in the behind the scenes, they just use some big source carpet light, something like a Godox 600 around this, and give them a key from the side, with the combination of top light that you get the light wrap across his face a little bit better for this angle. You can change your lighting depending on the angle. This is a commercial or even in movies. No one cares most of the time. If the setting, the whole mood stays the same, light continuity doesn't matter that much. And because the whole scene has this very orange, teal, blue, as the whole scene is very cool. We have this coolish tone in the hair and the darker areas. We tend to add a little warm practical here and there, a little touch of warmness in some corners so that the whole image doesn't feel just washed out, everything is blue. It also goes the other way around. When you have a very warm scene, you try to add a little bit of blue, and this makes everything better. Then we come to the spicy part. How do we add the other characters? Because we start with the hand that grabs to the trophy, and this is an actor. So I can tell you at the beginning, they probably move the set to each of the person. The reason for that is this guy have not the same calendar as this one. And he doesn't have the same calendar as Messi. So to get everyone on the same day at this place, impossible, because they live somewhere else in the country or the other side of the world. So it's just on paper not possible. But how do we create this interaction that it feels real? So they choose that. It's the same thing with the Louis Vuitton chess commercial. They shoot separately, they built a set and just placed everything nicely together here. But to make things a little bit better, you try to find someone with the same clothes, same skin color, and just for so throw in shots like this where it's pretty fast. Okay, add a Lego into the piece. You can just use anybody. No one will check that it's somebody else. Here, when we have the shot of Mbappé looking at him, they could shot him on a green screen plate. So you have to work on a storyboard. You can later also layer on your monitor the shot you've done before so that you can match every frame perfectly in post. So one option would be, if you want to go safe, shoot an over shoulder of him in front of a green screen. For the green screen doesn't have to be exactly this angle, but it should be the right lens choice or something like that. And key it out and just place in here in the right position. But because it's so out of focus, you can actually use, again, someone that looks similar, same hairstyle, same hair color. And for this throw-in over-shoulder shot, we can use, again, an actor so that also Mbappé have someone to look at. Because at the end of the day, these are not actors. They have problems when someone isn't there. They will look maybe not in the right direction or slightly off, and it really ruins the atmosphere or the illusion of everyone in the same place. So you have to have something like an actor or overpaint them and put then later the green screen tape over then just for better continuity. Also here you can see the light is clearing, not coming only from the top, but also on the side. Sometimes in a shot like this, where it's not a lot of movements, for better softness, you try to get the key light as close as possible, and also possible that I just painted it out. When there's not a lot of movement, the background doesn't have a lot of details. On a budget like this, always very possible that it done it like this. In my opinion, here in this shot, you can actually see when you blur green screen footage, you get this ghosting around the hand. This doesn't look natural. When you look at it and a normal hand is out of focus and grabbing something, doesn't look like this. You have clearly some artifacts going here and some unnatural feeling. But like I said before, for some throw away shots where it's pretty fast, not that detailed, you can do something like this. Also, most of the commercials nowadays go on social media. This means you only watch it on a screen like this. Otherwise, you have a Samsung triple fold or something like this where you can see it a little bit bigger. So most of the audience doesn't see the little things that are a little bit off. So here, same thing, real actor, that you have the right movement, the right placement, and then you record this hand in front of a green screen and just act like you're grabbing it. But the most important shots are these wide shots, because now we get the feeling, everyone is here. Yeah, that's so cool. And you can also see in the wide shot how cleverly placed a warm practical so that you have in every angle where you shoot something warm to break everything. And here you can see even better, this is not natural. This is not real. Also, it's much lower than before. When you go to the other shots, it looks much higher. So we can know for sure that they used something like a butterfly for here, or also a big China balls, also possible, very three-dimensional light. it gets a little bit, can go lower with it. Also, everyone gets a little bit better feel from it. And then the VFX artist clearly comped everything out, extended with AI. Probably this looks very AI-ish and not CGI, but could be CGI. Everything nowadays just merged a little bit into together. What is real, what is not real, no one knows anymore. Also, this top shot is a nice way to put everyone in the same place, because this is a shot where you can mount it, put your camera, shoot the first person, and then later you can put it on your small HD, on your Ninja, just exactly the frame. So the prep time is a little bit longer, but now you're safe that you can put the table exactly in the center, then put your other character here, and then they scroll. But also here I can tell you, can see a little bit of green screen and masking in a few of these shots. But hey, at the end of the day, it was a very entertaining commercial. It just had this wow effect for everyone, that we got this soccer players in the same place. And at the end of the day, this is what a commercial should do. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Marco Bagnoli, and see you next time.